All right, welcome to Saturday edition of Gen X Rated. How we doing today, Billy?
Good, good. It's Saturday. Had a good workout with Cole. And we're gonna amidst all this shit, we're gonna try and have a little fun today and do a little experiment. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, we're going to see how it goes, and we won't talk about the experiment, but we're going to
We'll
see
leave
what
it
the
to
day
the
brings us. At
leave
least
it to
the
the viewers.
yeah, we'll maybe get some comments about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's Saturday. We skipped on Thursday. There was just too much terrible news and too much going on to be able to come out and tell all about it. So we'll make up for some of that today, but let's not go too crazy.
Yeah, it's Saturday.
It's Saturday. Doesn't mean I have anything fun for you, but
You
what's
gotta have
fun?
something fun. I'm sure you got a happy ending or two, yeah?
Yeah, I probably have that. I'll give you that.
All right.
I just most of it is the current situation continues. I mean, this administration or regime, as you call it, likes to
Oh,
pull stuff on a Friday night.
yeah, yeah. And again, it's even that's losing its shock value. And they do it because they're fucking cowards.
They are cowards.
And dude, their reaction to this flood in Texas, it's absurd. It's offensive. It's disgraceful. I mean, Jesus, Trump talking about surfing and calling out the reporter for asking a question. I mean,
It was,
clearly,
go ahead.
a lot of shit was done wrong. It didn't have to be done that way. I mean, not investing in the alarms, the warning system. I mean, and then pulling the plug on FEMA when you're going to need it, and then getting up there. I don't know how they have the nerve to get up in front of these people and just lie like that.
It's pretty amazing, and they say it with a straight face. And Trump praises everybody, and then in the middle of it, he's talking to Dr. Phil. He's just so distracted, and you can tell he really doesn't want to be there anyway.
He's lost his mind. This guy's insane. I mean, and again with the tariffs now, and I was listening to some Canadian news from Canada, Canadian news, and we're just a joke. They're like, this is an unstable administration.
I think the rest of the world sees that, and again, they're moving on. Trump's
Yeah, and they said, one of their ministers said that we're just kind of moving on. We're going to look at other trading partners and other trade deals, and they can do their own thing.
well, they already are. People are buying their meat from Brazil. They don't really need our shitty meat. Now, if you did want to buy some ground meat at Walmart, it's about $7 a pound right now. These tariffs are really helping the rest of the world. He just put on 30% tariffs on the EU and Mexico. He's given a big FU to Canada, and everybody's going to find better trade partners than us. The other part of it is that there's no trust. Our name is mud right now.
Yeah.
You can't count on us for anything. If you can have a guy like Hegseth stop Patriot deployments for anti-missile defense to the Ukraine
on his own, because he just said, why not?
That was not approved through the White House, so they say.
White House didn't even know. They were blindsided. I guess Hegseth's second in command is some nut job guy, another right-wing Christian nationalist. And apparently these are all his big ideas, and he's either not even bothering to tell Hegseth and just doing it on his behalf, or he's telling him and Hegseth's like, yeah, I got to go work out, but you do you.
Well, let's just play devil's advocate that there's no consequences to these actions, because maybe at the end of the day, Trump kind of likes it. It's kind of helping the guy in the Russian office, so to speak.
Yeah, kind of. And I think Trump likes having somebody that's even dumber than him and worse at their job than he is.
Well, we're going to see, because the Epstein list not being released, that put Dan Bongini was very upset. He stormed out unless Bondi gets fired. They said the same thing about Kash Patel, but of course, Kash came out today and said, oh, it's such an honor to serve under Trump, and I'll be here until he doesn't want me to be here. Meanwhile, where's here? The hockey season's over, so I know you're not at the Caps game.
Is he just chilling in Vegas? I mean, that guy loves that job. He probably works, what, 1 day a week?
And he still complains about it, yeah.
If that.
You're working from home in Vegas, so you're pretty much doing whatever you want, and you're spending a ton of cash.
It just goes to show you, man, the people that did these jobs, the competent, serious people, it's not easy. You have to be really dedicated and you have to know what you're talking about and be able to get along with people. And the people he's put in place are none of these.
Well, and
They're
that's why the State
totally
Department's so.
arrogant and ignorant and just mean-spirited in some cases. Kristi Noem's just fucking angry at the world.
And that's why the State Department people that are lifetime government workers are so important. We turned this into a Republican Democrat thing, but they literally went and did their job no matter who was in the administration. This is
Yeah,
nothing
they were
new.
apolitical, and this is not
Correct.
the way it's supposed to be, and Congress won't do anything.
Congress won't do shit, and that's really the major problem here.
They are in lockstep behind him. They're like lemmings following Trump over the cliff, and unfortunately, the rest of us are attached to them.
Well, and the Friday night that's not surprising is the State Department is continuing to fire more people. They fired the remaining staff that's responsible for international climate policy. That includes annual negotiations with the rest of the world about climate-related treaties, which we don't do anymore. None of us knew that a month ago in Germany, the world had a big meeting to go over climate change. Instead, like you said, we get a president that says, oh, these 66-foot wave that came out of nowhere, who could have predicted it? I believe on Tuesday we said that they had this much rain and a flash flood in the same area 40 years ago. So it wasn't 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago. I don't even know what this guy's talking about, and talking about professional surfers not even being able to, compete with this.
Which they could. I mean, some of those big wave guys have surf waves like 120 feet.
Isn't that one in Portugal? Isn't that like a famous one?
I think so. Yeah, Portugal, and I think there's one off the coast of Northern California, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, it's pretty wild.
That's incredible. It'd be like falling off a 50-story building. I mean,
it's falling on top of you.
So
yeah, crazy.
So this was the firing. We already know the State Department cleared out about 1,300 people. They're going to fire.
Apparently, a lot of people had left voluntarily ahead of it.
I think, and I see a lot of videos of those people when they're leaving. There's a whole crowd downstairs applauding them. All they did was come to work for 20-some years, do their job, and go home. Now they're being fired. We'll see if there's any kind of pension. But they closed the last. They fired. I mean, it continues on this downsizing. They have 3,000 more people that they are going to cut. This is about realigning the workforce with the America First foreign policy at heart. And, it's really hard just to have one focus. And if you're wrong either direction, you're kind of screwed, as opposed to trying to conquer the big picture. America first. And that's what's going to save us. We don't need Canadian timber. We don't need Canadian crude oil. We don't need anything from any other country. And that's a really ridiculous way to think.
Yeah. And we've aligned ourselves with Russia and North Korea.
Yeah.
It's insane. It really is. This is fucking nuts. And it was all spelled out. That's the thing that always gets me. And again, people don't read the fine print, but the media could have done a better job of pointing it out. What a fucking batshit crazy manifesto it is. And Trump, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah. They're all kind of part of it, I guess. I mean,
yeah, they all knew, and Trump's the useful idiot, but he knew it was in there, and it's just so fucked up. I still can't believe that we're here and just watching them on that panel of idiots lying to these people when you know who came to help.
Yeah,
our neighbors from the south, man, the Mexicans. They came across the
Mexican
border to
president
help.
sent up able people. They literally came across the border with their flood gear and their rescue equipment, and they saved a lot of people. In fact, there's an interesting video out with the Kerr County sheriff who praised these people for coming, though they weren't called, and they've been criticized and chastised for months, and they actually saved his daughter in the floodwaters. And he said they're welcome in his county anytime. They're like royalty now. Now,
that's awesome.
Sad that had to happen for them to see the light of good people. But the president of Mexico is not messing around. She was like, there's an issue. It's on our border. We're going to help. And that was a lot more than what Kristi Noem did. I mean, if we want to break that down, it took literally 3 days for her. And I have statistics on her because now the story's all different. Oh, we're remaking FEMA, and this is in President Trump's, how he wants things to be run, where we're going to enable the states. I'm sick of this. Leave it up to the states that are underfunded to begin with, and then we pay all this
Underfunded. And
tax
here's
money
the
to
thing:
federal
you're
government.
firing people on such a large basis. You're adding people to the state's unemployment issues.
Yeah,
you're getting a
Well,
twofer. It's unbelievable.
It took 3 days for Noem to send FEMA rescuers to that area because she insisted on personally authorizing any expense over $100,000. That took some time. The interesting part is David Richardson, and I'm pretty sure I have a photo of him because you're going to want to see it, mainly because nobody has seen this guy. Well, let's put up Christy first because I know you're a big fan, and she's got her hat on in this one because hats are her thing.
Well,
there she is. There's Christy.
It's like the new face of evil.
There's the cages. We're coming back to that. Don't worry. I got to find this guy because here he is.
Jesus, he looks like a movie villain.
That's David Richardson. He's the acting FEMA administration head, and nobody has seen him. Nobody. I mean,
would
it's been
you
5 days?
Answer me this. If you called an Uber, especially late at night, and this is the guy that was coming to pick you up, would you get in?
No, I would not be in that car.
Fuck no.
Absolutely right. Let's see. So all of this was a 5-day delay. Now she comes out today and says they had everything they needed immediately. But the interesting part to me was that with FEMA, they had these call centers, and we got to cut money somewhere. And as you stated earlier, they could have had this warning system in place in this county, but the people came out and they didn't want Biden's drug money and his influence money. So they said, we don't want it. And they have tried several times to get money for this. The GOP denied funding for this county 8 different times starting in 2016. And just to put it into proportion, the amount of money that the 3 counties below them actually paid, it cost $75,000. That's $5,000 less than Kristi Noem stole from the receipts that she was given for donations. I mean,
yeah, how about that? This is just unbelievable. It's so blatant and in your face. And I don't know. I hope some people are starting to wake up and see what a fucking horrible regime this is, and how they're just the damage to this country is going to take years, maybe even decades, to win back, to fix. I mean, dude, to get our standing in the world order. Good luck. It's going to take forever to get that back once this ship starts to be fucking turned around. And this could be like turning an ocean liner.
It's pretty crazy too. On a side note, Sean Duffy, the transportation secretary, who we've never had so many airline incidences in a 6-month period in the history of my life. I can't recall any. We had 2,000 senior executives from NASA quit. They just said, see ya, we don't know what you're doing. So, of course, you basically shut down the space agency, but we have Space Force, so don't worry.
We've privatized
being that Sean Duffy's now the head of NASA.
Crazy, right? But,
he's only the transportation secretary because he was on Road Rules MTV. Come on.
And he won the lumberjack competition, most famous lumberjack of the world. It's amazing, folks. This guy is just incredible. Lumberjack.
Tell the guy from El Salvador that story again, and he may have you shamed.
You may get a Colombian necktie.
And I just want to point out that this river rose 26 feet in 45 minutes. The warning was slow. It was in the middle of the night. And then response has to be quick. So you had thousands of people that called in. This was July 4th. On July 5th, as the waters were receding, FEMA answered 99% of the 3,027 calls that they received. Now, that night, Kristi Noem decided not to renew the contract of the independent contractors at the call center. So you had 99% of it being answered as this was happening. The next day, of the 2,363 phone calls, 36% of them were answered. Most of these survivors are seeking what we've talked about from day one. You're applying for federal assistance right away. You lose your house, you've got nothing, And you, as we talked about, you have they'll give you immediately $750 for food and lodging. Take care of yourself. Take it. And this was one of the first things that Trump didn't like. This was something you weren't going to have access to. We don't need FEMA. Let the states do it. Well, now we have 2/3 of the calls not being answered. People aren't getting $750.
And they do. They do. She knew, and she did it anyway. And then even after like they saw, well, you know, it's flooding again. Let's get these guys back. Nah.
Doesn't
buy a new hat
for my house. Am I right?
Yeah, dude, it's horrifying and it's maddening. And I'm running out of adjectives to describe how fucking
just as an example,
terrible this is.
In Missouri, we had this tornado in our neighborhood, as we talked about. But prior to that, in March, we had tornadoes, and FEMA came out eventually. Well, FEMA aside, just the funding for FEMA just came to us. It took, in Missouri, the average from 2010 to 2024 for FEMA response was about 16 days to get them out there and to be taking care of homeowners. In Missouri, we had one declaration for the March incidents that happened, the storms. It took 49 days plus another 20 days. And then at the 70-day mark, after we had our tornado, they got their funding, which was great for the people in March. But we still have 2 incidents pending that probably aren't going to happen. And what are you doing for 30 days outside of your house when you have nothing? You have none of your stuff. You have no place to live. You have no necessarily money for food. What are you doing?
Oh, I know, but they don't care. Oh, you're on your own. I mean, these people are so cruel. I mean, the only thing that matches their cruelty is their greed.
Super greedy.
It's just, they're disgusting people. And this is so blatant now. It's in your face. And I really hope that some people are seeing this now and realizing how bad this is.
I think they're living it.
They're living it, but at least maybe they're changing their minds. Like, you know, and I love to see MAGA, you know, splintering along the lines of Epstein.
Yeah.
That's him fucking, that's him getting back at Trump from beyond the grave. And you know, that guy was murdered. I mean, that tape was doctored twice.
Well, right? After he met with Bill Barr, he was given 15 minutes to make some private calls, non-recorded calls. I don't know if you've ever been to jail. And I listen to a lot of true crime, as I've stated. I listen to a lot of crime
they record all those calls, yeah.
All that stuff is recorded. You're not making a call and not having it recorded. But his call was unrecorded. He was left to himself to do it. And his calls were to Belarus. That seems kind of weird.
Seems really weird.
But, you know, I don't think, I'm not sure if he was planning on being murdered, but they had to silence him and it was done.
Well, I think that's what Barr came to tell him.
Really? I'm
pretty sure. Yeah. It was like, you know, Tessio after the failed plot against Michael.
Yeah.
Can you get me off the hook?
For old
Sorry, Sal, no can do.
Mm-mm.
You know, I mean, yeah, that's what he told him. And he probably did tell him, you know, it's nothing personal.
Just I'm on Ozempic. We're all good now. It's fine.
Yeah, but
slob anymore.
Can you imagine if that had happened under Clinton, under a Democratic, the Republicans?
First of all, the Attorney General doesn't go to the jail. That's unheard of. The Bill Barr actually went to see this guy. It just doesn't happen unless it's far reaching. And then people, the MAGA people are like, oh, well, what about the Democrats? Bring it on, man. Expose Bill Clinton. I don't give a fuck. Expose all these pigs. It's criminal what they did. And I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent. Stop making this a sided issue. I mean, this is what has us in this shithole that we're in now, so to speak, because everything's so sided. It's, you know, my guys are always right. Well, that's just not how you sustain a democracy when one side's always right.
Jesus, we're a functioning country.
Trump's going after Roseanne Barr, not Roseanne Barr.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship because she's a threat to the country and has hate in her heart.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's not a thing. I mean, Jesus Christ, this is insane. It's fucking truly insane. And it's it's unprecedented, man. It's like being through the looking glass. We're here. It's like climate change. We're still looking at it like, well, maybe not. Maybe it's coming. Maybe slowly, but we're here. It's coming. We didn't even realize it, too. We've passed a tipping point already.
Well, and we don't
with
have that
both.
fourth estate. I mean, the media is not helping us at all with any of this stuff that just seems so crackerjack, plain and simple. We're just
Yeah, I
not
mean, if
doing
you
it.
want to see anything, you have to go to sites like Vox and maybe Axios. You'll get like both sides of things in a actual journalistic manner, or
Sure.
BBC, The Guardian. What's the
BBC,
German
less
one?
so. The Independent UK. I mean, all these things. I mean, we went from this.
Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera is always a pretty good source.
We went from this South Dakota person that looked like somebody that was normal, and then we just jumped right into, the weirdness. I
I mean, look at
mean,
that face. How much do you have to hate yourself to completely change your appearance?
or it's just the look. You're going for the look. You want to be popular. I mean, it's the Mar-a-Lago look, and many people love it.
I don't get it personally, but I think that's a pretty fitting visual for the times we're in, though.
It's pretty crazy, and
This
I don't.
bizarrely disfigured face is a Vogue look, and that pretty much sums it up right now. This is a bizarrely disfigured democracy right now. For no
That's a great way
reason,
of
these
putting
people
it.
just decided to come in, and this is what they're going to do.
It's gross.
It
I
is
want to
gross.
talk with her grossness. I want to talk a little bit just about um, the. We've seen a lot of these raids. I'm going to go back here. We finally had Wasserman, I think, was able to get into Alcatraz, Alligator Alcatraz, which I find the connotation offensive.
Hmm.
They're not taking the worst of the worst. They're not even taking 70% of them being criminals. You're just taking people there to get these numbers done. So Wasserman was able to get in there, and she had some information about what's going on inside, which I found to be somewhat interesting. You got 32 detainees per cage.
Oh my God,
You can
32
see
people.
what's in there. Asses to elbows, I think is what they call it.
It's inhuman.
You have three tiny toilets, and it's those toilets that we saw that have the sink on top of it where the basin would be. So you can brush your teeth where you take a dump.
Oh, that's
Um,
fantastic.
there is a 3-foot privacy wall where those three tiny toilets are, and that's what the description was, tiny toilets. So a little bit of privacy, maybe. I don't know. I don't think there's a fan in there.
Doesn't look like
Um,
it.
Showers, no privacy whatsoever. You're just out there, and I don't even know when they're going to allow you to shower anyway.
When it
Um,
rains.
but you have kids in there. You have women. Right now, they have 900 people. This is 1,000-bed facility. I think we saw that it flooded immediately after the cameras left with Trump. Air conditioning units left. Not surprising. People have talked about the giant mosquitoes the size of elephants, the meal quality that sucks, the fact that the lights are on all the time. I mean, it's almost torturous how they're treating these people.
It's
And
cruel
one,
and inhuman. It's unconstitutional.
absolutely.
And these
And
people
one,
didn't do anything.
no, but look how cool that sign is, bro.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. You know what? I'm going to drive all the way down there just so I can get a selfie with that.
if you could get a picture of that, you would. I know.
Oh, that's so fucked
Uh,
up, dude. What the fuck?
what I want to point out is these guys putting up the sign. That
Or all
gentleman
his,
looks Hispanic.
they all do.
Um,
The guy on the left does, I think.
how are you okay with this, guys? I mean, I know it's a job, but shit, you might be next. Pull your pants up, buddy.
Yeah, but I think they're just trying to keep a low, like, what are you going to do? I don't blame them. Just trying to keep a low profile, go about my shit.
So the last thing on meals, they have they cut that for lack of a better term, they call it a kitchen preparation area, but they do it for the staff and they do it for the detainees. The staff, they had large roasted chicken and big sausages and stuff. And then for the detainees, they got a small turkey and cheese sandwich, an apple, and chips. I mean, what am I, the bread company?
Seriously.
Panera? And they're like, these are grown men. This isn't enough food for grown-ups.
I know. What are you doing to these people? This is inhuman. It's seriously, and how long are you going to keep them there?
Well, that's the other thing. We're going to spread it around. So Kristi Noem was out today talking about there's 5 more states that are looking at the model of Alcatraz or Alligator Alcatraz because she thinks it's pretty
I
funny.
bet they're all southern states.
They're all 5 states have Republican governors. So you're right. She's not sure that she's allowed to release who it is just yet, but there will be a big announcement. And she said that we need to double the capacity of our detention beds. Her quote was, "We need to facilitate getting people out of this country as fast as possible."
What the fuck?
Why?
Why? Yeah, why?
I don't know. And then we go after the Democrats. You know, the Democratic Party, those liberals, they're not only liberals, but they're communists, Marxists, socialists. Seriously, can you define what any of these things mean?
No.
If you would have said social democrats, socialist Democrats, something that makes some kind of sense, but Marxists, really, we're still carting that out.
Yeah.
And you know, MAGA doesn't even know what that means. Let's be honest.
They don't. They just know it's bad. Okay.
It's really bad.
It's just unbelievable. Not just the level of ignorance, but the level of hatred.
Yeah, I would agree.
Oh man.
It's a little bit shocking, but I didn't want to let that pass because it's somewhat becoming acceptable that we're going to send people to camps.
We're going to concentrate them in these areas called camps. Dude, it's downright, it's bone chilling. It's horrifying. And they're just speeding up the process now. What the fuck is going on? It feels like, I don't know, at some point some shit is going to hit the fan.
It seems like they're kind of planning that between the military maneuvers that we're seeing, making it really hard to believe that they're not going to try and flex their muscle. The distraction is, you know, they're going after elections, which is what they kind of want you to believe. Yes, they are stripping people off the rolls. I want to say 500,000 people in Texas were taken off. This is kind of, in hindsight, how they took North Carolina. They gerrymander areas and then they take away. So they're really worried about the House this time. So they're going into Florida and they're going into Texas and they're going to redistribute the votes so that people like Al Green maybe lose, even though they do an amazing job. We're going to get rid of people like that because they want to pick up 4 or 5 spots in the House because they're worried about losing the House. Because if they do, all this shit will be investigated and they're going to have a big problem. I mean, there was a reason Elon Musk said, if he loses this election, I'm going to jail, and so is Trump. I mean, come on, man. Not even saying the quiet part out loud. They're just talking out loud.
Yeah, I mean, that's something people should still be talking about. We can't let that just be yesterday's news and some random quote from a guy.
Yeah, and
this is a guy that was in on it. Oh, that Elon, he knows all about the computer, so don't worry. You don't even have to vote anymore.
Johnny Ola, he knows all the spots.
Yeah, dude, and he knew he was going down. That fake assassination attempt moved the needle for a little bit, but after that, he was just going downhill. I mean, that one where he just got up and played the hits. Or he liked to weave. You know, I'm going to weave. I'm going here, go there, and I'm finishing here. And it's like, that's not weaving. You're rambling, Peepaw.
It was bad. Yeah.
He was done, and he was already starting to raise, questions about Pennsylvania. And then all of a sudden, he's happy again, and Elon's jumping around in a ketamine-fueled fog.
Elon knows computers. Come on now.
Why can't the Democrats do that? I mean, come on. Elon is not a fucking genius. He knows the people that can do it, maybe, but that guy he's a pretty mediocre tech guy, honestly.
He really is.
He's just a really good shyster and a fucking, he's got street smarts, I guess, in some ways. He's cunning.
He's pretty insulated, I think. And
he's pretty insane.
And money does that for you. It makes it really nice.
Yeah, but I mean, he grew up, his grandfather was a fucking Nazi. His father Nazi-esque. So yeah, that little acorn didn't fall far from the tree.
No, and his kid looks like Damien, so there's no doubt. I want to jump back to local because this is something I've had to deal with the last couple days. We've talked about this before. There's the Arch. All that steel came out of Pittsburgh, as we all know.
Yeah, it did.
We had the issue with passing a ballot initiative, which was going to allow us in this state to make a minimum wage of $15 an hour. Seemed great. With that, it would also fluctuate with inflation, which also seemed like a good idea. And this was something that the legislator, Republican GOP dominated legislation in St. Louis or in Missouri just couldn't have. So they repealed the paid sick leave portion of the ballot that passed by 60% in 2024. I mean, it's not that long ago. as we sit in 2025. They also took out the stipulation that for 1 hour of paid sick time for every 30 hours worked. So you work 30 hours, you get 1 hour of sick time that you can build on. Without getting too deep into it, if you work full time or 30 hours a week, you would get 5 sick days a year. That's 40 hours of paid sick leave. And if you work full time, you would get 56 hours, which again is 7 days, 7 sick days out of 300 and some. It just seems you should get at least that, for God's sake.
Yeah, and I bet they don't roll over. And I've worked at places. I worked at a place where you got unlimited paid time off, not just sick days.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is Governor Kehoe. He's the one that made all this happen with the support of many Republicans. Here they are signing the bill. Ooh,
The Republicans in this state are an embarrassment.
They're the worst. Well, Hawley
really
came
are.
out and said he only voted for that bill because he knew that he would have time before 2030 to remove the part that was going to hurt the rural hospitals and farmers. Give me a break, dude.
I know. You're not going to do
5 years,
shit.
you couldn't fix your fucking location. You don't even live in Missouri, for God's sake.
Yeah.
You're going to take care of the people. I want to say that this affects 728,000 private sector workers in the state of Missouri. You've just stripped them of this. You can have your $15 an hour. We're going to not index it for inflation. And the reason why I bring up the indexing of inflation, and before I start that part, I just want to say that Kehoe did call a special meeting. We talked about this, whether they should do the funding for the stadium for Kansas City, whether we should do some public funding for these billionaires so we can have football. That passed.
Oh, yeah, that got the big thumbs up right away. Agreed. Now let's go have lunch.
The only reason why I mentioned about them cutting the sick leave and the minimum wage based on the inflation index as well is because today they came out, the same governor, and the Missouri vehicle licensing fees are going to go up. They're going to go up about 50% for processing your license for your car or your trailer. This is going to help subsidize private run offices, which I'm all for these private offices. I think we had about 174 of them. They charge their fee to run their business. You're already paying the state for your taxes and tags. Don't worry about that. But here, all of a sudden, he puts into this that the current fees aren't keeping up with inflation. So we're going to base it on the indexing of inflation, which is something we won't do for 728,000 workers, but we're going to do it for 174 private institutions that run these offices. And before you say anything, I just want to say that this is the second time since 1999 that we revisited this. The last time was in 2019, which is 6 years ago. Minimum wage has been the same forever. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that, it looks like somebody got greased. Like, I'm sure all these guys got together and said, hey, you know what? We've got some powerful friends. Let's put them to use. So I'm sure, the Republicans got hefty donations or something, or either that or they're somehow involved. Some of the key members are franchise owners.
For sure. And I'll allow you to be a licensing bureau if, and that's great. So they say, oh, we're taking care of rural America because if that office closes, they're going to have to drive 17 miles to get their tax and stuff.
But if their hospital closes and they have to drive 50 miles, 100 miles, well, that's capitalism.
Well, you could do telemedicine. Oh, wait. No, you can't. You don't have broadband.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Dude, it's amazing. Honey. And, it's kind of funny if you look back historically when they did the Tennessee Valley Project, right? Where they brought power to the rural areas, I guess Appalachia and Tennessee, and it was a game changer. It opened up that whole section, that whole sector, and the economy picked up. I mean, it was a win-win for everybody.
We don't do that anymore.
We don't do that anymore. We're not about that.
No.
All of this stuff. I mean, Jesus Christ. They've been trying to overturn the New Deal since Roosevelt. And they had a plot to kidnap him. These are the same people and their descendants. They want to destroy any kind of a sense of, that the government is working for you and not against you. That's not what we're about. We're about making money and feathering our own nests. And let's not forget the casual cruelty.
Yeah, we love that part. Long story short, on this, this will become a ballot initiative again. The people will do their best, and then when it goes back to the people that were voted in, they'll say, "You voted me in, I know better. I'll do this," and then we'll be back to the ballot initiative. They're like, "This is how it works," and then you fine tune it, and people are like, "No, you put it on the ballot. We tell you what we want. We vote on it. When the majority says they want it, you do it. You don't fix it by sending it back to the House to make the big beautiful turd worse. It's not how it works." And now we do that on every level. Now we're going to use Trump's blueprint, which is just like, put a diaper on, shit your pants, and don't care. Because I care, and I don't like soiling myself.
No, who does?
I don't know.
Horrible. And nobody wants to be around someone that soils themselves. It's like in Silence of the Lambs when she goes in to do the witness the one autopsy, and they have her dab the stuff underneath her nose. People that hang out with Trump probably have that stuff on all day long.
I think you're probably right. I would get used to it.
Butt.
I'm going to put this up here. These are very important people. Lately, I've been spending a lot of time in the visiting these people. I do want to say that I went through a radiation area, and the people that work at those desks are just amazing people. The amount of care that they show towards these patients that come in various phases, whether they're losing their hair or they're on oxygen or they look perfectly healthy, they treat everybody the same. They show up every day. They have a smile on their face. They're very uplifting for people that are in a terrible situation. And those are the jobs we just don't care about. We don't find these nurses and we don't find these social workers important because they're not captains of industry, I guess. But every time I leave the hospital setting and I see the people leaving on that 3 o'clock shift, I don't know how they do it. And I really, I know we've watched several people go through this process that were near and dear to us. But again, I just don't think these people get enough acclaim for what they do because I couldn't do it. I would be depressed all the time. It would be hard for me to be uplifting, to be there for the people that need that crest of a happy wave. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a special person to work in healthcare like that on the front lines.
And we have a lot of them. And we saw it during COVID, the people wearing plastic bags and stuff because we weren't going to give any aid to blue states because Jared was Kushner was in charge then.
Yeah, busy buying it all up. And Robert Kraft was loading his plane with it.
Yeah.
These people.
Well, it turns out KK Caroline also got some PPP that she hasn't paid back. She owes over $400,000.
Tom Brady got a bunch of it.
Oh, yeah. And he didn't pay it back either. He got like $370,000 himself. The reason I bring up these professionals that I'm extremely impressed with is because we've now put a cap on loans for people to be able to go to these professional careers. They've capped the lawyer, which we talked about at $50,000. We also talked about doctors being capped at $50,000. Now, that puts you at a 4-year program at $200,000 is the most money that you can take a loan on. It's not enough. It's at least $300,000 to get through those programs.
Is that a single loan or is it?
No, $50,000 a year.
That's it.
Correct. So it'd be 4 loans, but you could get a loan every year up to $200,000 and then you're kind of done. That's just like the tuition. That's not helping with your room and board.
Well, you know what? One part of me wants to think that part of the reason they're doing that is that they want to make it that the only way you can affordably get a medical degree is to join the military.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Because they'll pay to put you through.
Sure.
Right? You go in, I think you go in with a commission. I think it's a pretty good gig. That's a pretty good way to do it if you want to be out of debt, but you're paying a price there.
Well, and the other end of that, what you said the other day, is that you have to come from a wealthy family to be able to do it.
To be able to self-finance, yeah.
And I've been through some of that process and with others. And sometimes the people that come from the most money, and my grandfather was a doctor, my dad was a doctor, just don't have that same drive that somebody that came from maybe nothing has and goes into that field because they want to help. And even if they're doing it because it's good money, you still have that in you to show up, to care, to provide. Whereas if you come for money and, I'm just not quite feeling it today, and I've never had to do anything I didn't want to do before, maybe that's not the best care that you're going to be able to give to your patients. And I'm not saying wealthy people can't be good doctors. I'm just saying you're limiting the pool of people that can come in. The Association of American Medical Colleges already has said we're on track to have a shortage of 86,000 doctors by 2036. That's like a decade.
I know. I mean, how do you fix that? And we're going to have a shortage of nurses too.
Oh my God, yeah. Which are really on the front lines of all of it.
Yeah. And I wonder, like, I think you could probably get like the foundation for nursing school at community college.
Sure.
And I think some of these schools, if I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I saw a couple of billboards saying that they were offering scholarships to the one here, Goldfarb School of Nursing.
Okay.
I think they're actively, trying to get people, to be nurses. And I think that's a pretty good deal because we need them.
I think that's awesome. And then it becomes a state by state. You're going to take care of your own people in your state because you need care for these people. But again, why are we paying all this federal tax when we're really not getting anything? Christy Noem says, hey, the feds are there to support the states. The states come out first. Well, we have a lot of states, in particular, the majority are red states, that don't have a surplus. They can't even carry their own weight now.
The blue states support them.
Correct, which we hate. Those
crazy thing. Talk about biting the hand that feeds you.
Oh, they shit all over it. But I guess my point is when you have a problem, so Trump did show up in Texas and they talked about
eventually
job they did eventually. Sure.
Biden would have been there the next day. You can say what you want about that guy, but he would have showed up and FEMA would have been there and the situation would be not under control maybe, but it would be in a lot better place.
I guess my point is that he went to the big, great state of Texas that we have to fix the next election for House of Representatives because Texas, we can do it. We got Hot Wheels Abbott. We got Cruz. We can take care of that. My question is, why are the people of North Carolina not getting the help? They were promised help, and then Trump said no. The people of Kentucky, that was a giant disaster with the storms that they had, not getting help. South Carolina, not getting help. Arkansas, she asked a couple times. Instead, she's just talking about her dad who's in the bunker and while Iran was bombing Israel because he, part of their pensions through Israeli bonds in Arkansas. Like, what kind of weirdness are we living in? And she thinks she can be the next president. These are terrible people. My point is, they're not getting aid. Missouri's not getting aid. All these other states didn't get anything from FEMA.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit. It's ridiculous. This is like, and again, it's so unconstitutional. This is not the way things were set up.
No.
And, there's a legal framework for that. It wasn't just randomly, used. And fuck, damn good and well, if the Democrats, if this situation was reversed and the Democrats were the one driving us into an authoritarian failed state, there'd be an outrage. People would be fucking hung. These fucking rednecks would have lost their shit. It's just, look at this. It's unbelievable.
And that guy with his raising the minimum wage is definitely hurting the economy. I mean, that guy has to yell. I mean, if his stack of money wasn't so high, he could probably just tell him, but it's a good yelling. To that point on this wealth inequality, the bottom 90% of the world lost an estimated $5 trillion in the past decade.
And again, it wasn't lost. Like, we didn't lose it in the couch cushions. It was stolen. It was taken.
Well, and to your point, yes, worldwide, billionaires have gained $6.5 trillion in that same decade. So 90% of us lost $5 trillion, but the billionaire class gained 6.5 trillion, or I say everything's in trillions. Sorry, not billion. Yeah. We lost 5 trillion. They gained 6.5 trillion, and they still think we're dirtbag pieces of garbage. I mean,
why can't you pull yourself up by your bootstraps? I mean, when you have that kind of money, you can't help but make money.
Yeah, you can. It can just sit there.
Yeah, you literally don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, apparently the price of that is selling your soul in any kind of moral compass.
And if the money's right, most people seem to be okay with that.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. We live in a really sick society.
We do. And then you have mortgage delinquencies are up 200% in the last 6 months because again, you're unemploying people, you're freezing people's jobs if they're lucky, and you still have to pay that monthly note from the bank, or else you lose your house.
So are we seeing a rise in foreclosures now?
They haven't gotten to the foreclosure part because it takes a little bit more time to get people out of their house. Plus, it has to be in an area where you actually want that property, right? So, yeah, and yeah, so I'm sure it's only a matter of time. But anybody that's paying $7 for ground meat at Walmart is going to be really upset. I think we may go back to eating more squirrels and possum and stuff like that, or maybe geese. I don't know. For the record, those geese never did show up at the food bank.
No, they did not. What did they
Another
actually do
story.
with them? What did they do with them? Did they say?
Just got rid of them. Nobody wants that anyway.
What the hell?
I
It's
don't know.
ridiculous. I mean, you know, the geese at Shaw Park in Clayton seem fine. They don't seem to be bothering anybody.
Well, they don't like to poop, but yeah, I don't think they're a huge hassle. But it's just how we deal with stuff, you know. I mean, it just let's get rid of them. They're Canadian, aren't they?
Well, and I always thought like that was kind of the charm of Brentwood, I thought, where like they would hang out by like where that fountain is,
Yeah,
you know, and it's just like, oh, that's Brentwood. Occasionally you'd have to stop for a goose, you know, or geese coming across the
or
crosswalk. And
seven, but
yeah,
still, they
that's
were
fine.
cute.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I thought it was a nice touch. So that I thought that was bullshit. That was totally lame.
It was kind of heartless, and
It really
it's just
was. And
kind of
then to
how we
lie
roll.
about what you were going to do with them.
I don't think they had really any plan, and my feeling is you had nothing else to worry about other than that. I mean, come on.
Seriously. And you know what? If you're going to do that, pretend we're 5-year-olds and just tell us the geese went to go live on a farm. They're way happier there. They didn't like it here. It was getting, you know, a little bit too crowded. So,
Snoopy went to the farm. I feel better now.
yeah. Oh,
Yes.
man. Dude, this,
One last thing on healthcare with the doctor thing I just wanted to say was that in 1990, healthcare was not the top employer in any state in 1990. By 2024, the top employer in 39 states is healthcare. So that's pretty drastic. And you're talking about in 35 years. I mean, it seems like maybe that's a long time, but to go from none with healthcare. And the bottom line is with what happens with our healthcare is we're the only country that employs more people in the business of blocking access to healthcare than we employ people in the business of providing healthcare.
dude, that's sobering. I couldn't believe that when you told me that. Yeah, that's really like,
I
what
mean,
the fuck?
and now you're looking at it's the top employer in 39 states. And now you know the reason why. You're hiring all these
Mhm.
people to make sure nobody gets health care. You're not doing it because we're hiring more nurses and more MAs and more doctors. I mean, the VA is going to find that out pretty quickly when they can't hire doctors because they don't have a budget to bring in more physicians. And
Dude,
who's
and
taking
people are
care of
going to
these
be mad,
veterans that we
dude.
love so much?
I think veterans are going to be pissed.
I think they're already pissed.
And you know, I think these are people that have paid their dues and done a great service. And I think, you know, and many of them were fucking damaged beyond, you know, repair, or just damaged to the point where, you know, we're like, fuck it. They'll be fine. They'll fend for
It
themselves.
sounds like you're suggesting that they go out in the fields and pick berries.
Well, I was suggesting that maybe, you know, these are people that know how to use weapons and maybe they've been pushed too far.
Stop.
I'm just saying, dude, this is not how you
Listen.
treat people. It's happened in Rome, right? Didn't the legions turn on one of the emperors?
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can't push people that far. These are people that have fucking paid their dues, and they're the people that they lionize. They claim to care about the veterans and the service, but they really don't. They're like the anti-abortion people. They care about the fetus, but you know, once you're out and you're a liability, or maybe, you know, we have to repay a debt to you, well, we're not that interested. Is that
Yeah.
wrong? I
No,
mean, so I don't know. I mean, it's happened before. You know, they had that after World War One when the veterans went like 2 years without getting their promised pensions, and they marched on Washington and set up an enclave, like a camp. They were called Hoovervilles, because
okay.
Hoover was in office and wasn't addressing this bullshit. think we were in the middle of the Depression by then. And at one point, the Hoover and the administration were like, well, we'll call in the troops to clear these places out. And Douglas MacArthur was a young officer leading the troops that turned on these World War I veterans.
Jeez, what the heck?
Yeah, dude, the history of this country is fucking insane. And it's stuff like that you don't learn about, you don't read about, but it's fascinating and it paints a vastly different picture than what we've been sold and what we like to believe. But,
Yeah.
you know, like that graphic comic version of Howard Zinn's History of America traumatized the kids.
Terrifying, man.
Yeah, it's just nuts. So,
And we just and this is a new stem of cruelty where we say, hey, we're going to get rid of all these immigrants. We're going to go into the fields and our farmers and our ranches, and we're going to use AI and we're going to pull from the 34 million people on Medicaid because they could do some work. And Medicaid, a lot of those people are seniors that are in homes. They might be demented. They may be disabled. They've already, you act like they didn't pay into this and didn't work 40 years. And then we just shit all over them and say, hey, why don't you get out there in the fields? That's a huge disconnect that I just can't understand.
yeah.
And I saw this quote today. It says, it's crazy how it's considered normal to drop your kids off at daycare 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, just to drive to a job that pays for daycare, the car, and the home you're barely living in. We're literally working to afford a life that we hardly get to live.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely right. They just keep you on the treadmill going. And it's for most of us, it's just not working.
Yeah. And again, I think that people can put up with a lot. They can adapt to a lot. But I think you reach a certain point and, people get pissed. And this is already an angry society. I mean, it's kind of like bubbling just beneath the surface, and occasionally it flares up. But dude, it's like those two plates, right? Tectonic plates in an earthquake where they're just kind of like, there's a friction, they're grinding, then all of a sudden it just snaps.
Or this. Yeah.
Bad news.
Well, we're going to see.
I don't know, man. Hopefully.
Go ahead.
Hopefully the system can push back a little bit. Maybe it's not too late.
Well,
people need to see what's going on. I mean, you're seeing MAGA splintering now over the Epstein thing because even those people don't believe a fucking lie when they see it.
Yeah.
And, and these people are steeped in conspiracy theories. So now your Frankenstein, your Gollum, if you will, has come back to bite you in the ass. It's a problem. So, and Musk seriously has the will and he's certainly got the resources to form a third party, which will probably be even to the right of these crazy nuts.
Yeah, that party's going to be a piece of shit, but it is going to keep, thin out a little bit of the MAGA. They're insane. The stuff he wants is still similar to what all the billionaires want. He's no savior, and he's a bit of an asshole himself. So,
yeah, he's like an even weirder version of Trump.
Yes, he's the guy that actually had that money.
Yeah, crazy.
So the first example will be how we ignore climate change. Let's see how that works. The rest of the world's doing something about it. We're drill baby drilling, though those permits aren't selling, and the oil companies are not drilling because they don't need to. But Trump just tells you what you want to hear. We could talk more about stolen elections. We could talk about magnets. We could talk about all kinds of stupid shit. But
electric battery-powered boats and sharks.
Seems to be a time suck. So we're going to move on to a happy ending because I just can't take the orange guy much longer. I did have a couple. With all this terror that we're putting on our citizens, and a lot of the people, 70% plus, that have been picked up by ICE, and ICE is in total control. They run the show. Alligator, Alcatraz are the ones that set the standards. They're the ones that make sure the quality is what it should be. They're the ones getting filled their coffers with tons of cash. Because of their tactics, support for allowing undocumented immigrants to become U.S. citizens has risen just in the last year from 70%. It's all the way up to 78% now.
Wow.
Most people know somebody that's an immigrant, have one in their family, come from immigrants. I mean, it seems like a fucking no-brainer, pardon my language, but it is.
Immigrants built this country. I mean, most of these, and it's ironic because, pretty much all of MAGA They have immigrants in their family history.
You'd have
Unless
to.
you're Native American, native born here on this continent, somebody along the lines, was an immigrant.
Well, we know a guy that told us about his family coming over on the Mayflower, and we don't see him a whole lot no more.
No, fuck that. Yeah, that's crazy.
My other happy ending is again polling. This is through the Gallup poll, and you have because of all this raids on immigrants that are really upsetting to some people. We're finding out that all the gains that Trump had with Latinos gone. That's not a thing. There's been a massive shift from independent voters away from Trump because who can relate to this unless you're wearing that hat? Record high level of support for immigrants, which I just said is up to 78%. And you even have representatives that are Republican that are abandoning Trump on immigration.
They need to, man. This is insane. This is not who we are. And, it's right up there on the level of what we did to the Japanese Americans during the Second World War.
And how many years were they in those camps again?
Like 4 till the end of the war. And who knows, if they kept some of them after that. Who the fuck knows? And, they essentially took these people, they threw up these shanty towns, right? And they took these people and I guess they each got one suitcase. They gave them like an hour maybe to pack, put them on a train and sent them out in the middle of nowhere in the winter.
We had some good photos of that. They wore their Sunday best and they got on the train and off they went.
And they made these places livable. These were people with skills, and I don't know, that just you have to admire that. You feel the shame that it happened, but you have to admire that these people were able to persevere and carve out a living when they gave them nothing. And a lot of them didn't get their homes back.
Yeah. But shouldn't you learn from that? Like, that's how progress is made. You're like, oh, that was really shitty and shameful. Let's not do that again. And now we have Alligator, Alcatraz, and we have 5 other governors of Republican states that want to build their own 1,000-bed units.
Yeah, because they see there's money to be made.
Lots.
And you stay on Trump's good side. Yeah.
Well, he's not going to be here forever. So they really start planning for that. I mean,
and this is all unnecessary. This is all based on some campaign promise to get rid of so many million immigrants. Well, you're already in.
Yeah. Why don't you stop already?
Why did you even start this? You could have done a couple of showy roundups, let people go, and then been done with it.
Well, they're doubling down. That is not going to stop. They went at that cannabis place, and that was a Trump voter, and they raided it, which is one of the most highly regulated businesses we have in cannabis. They went into some fields and started hauling people out. I mean, they had a gentleman fall off a roof. He ended up dying.
Yeah.
They just don't care. Homan doesn't care. He's a badass. I find him to be a bad actor. And I'm tired of looking at him too, frankly.
Got a face like a canned ham.
Yeah. So the good news is polls are showing that this shift is coming. I don't know that it's going to come fast enough for you and I, but how could it not? I mean, this is no way to treat people, even if you're in a bubble of cash. It's just not fair. It's not American. And it's not what this country was built on, frankly.
No, not even close. This is outrageous. And, they've been playing the long game. And if you look back at history, just recent American history, you can see like where things started to change and, some things started to erode and a lot of the deregulation and the rise of the billionaire class has been a fucking total killer. Combined with white Christian nationalists and evangelicals. These people formed a solid, and extremely loyal and cruel voting bloc. But the Republicans were the ones, they used to stay out of it. And then Reagan, under Lee Atwater, courted these people and activated them. They got them all hopped up on abortion because it wasn't really a thing.
And now churches are allowed to have their say and still be tax exempt.
Well, hopefully, the liberal churches can play that game too. I mean, there's 2 progressive ones around us.
Well, and keep in mind, he's losing the Catholics because the bishops are coming out. Obviously, the new Pope Leo the 14th has really set the standard of what's acceptable. And the Catholics, if you are a true Catholic, now I've got a couple people I know where one younger Catholic says the older Catholic's a terrible Catholic, even though they go to church every Sunday.
And treat people well. The older Catholic treats everybody very nicely.
Yeah. and says her prayers every night and respects people's religious choices.
Mm-hmm.
The other one's a nationalist, and he's just like, "Oh, you're a bad Catholic, and I'm a great Catholic, and I'm gonna kill some more people because I'm in the military." And
Yeah, it's like that weird thing, like on The Sopranos, when Carmine Sr. died, and little Carmine is at the funeral, and you know Johnny Sack's off in the corner with the other captains all yucking it up and laughing at while the boss is one room away dead. And he notices something. He's pissed off at Johnny Sack. He's like, John, I want to have a word with you. And you think he's going to call him out on, what the fuck's going on with you, yucking it up. Instead, he's like, what's this Opus Dei bullshit? What did he call it? He called it this, I don't know, evangelical Jersey housewife bullshit.
yeah.
So I guess it's like a division of Catholicism that maybe led to this. I don't know. I don't know much about Catholicism, but I know that some of them have gone incredibly right-wing nut jobbish.
Yeah.
And we have Catholic roots. Our mom was raised Irish German Catholic, and we were around it. We were dragged to mass a couple of times, and
used to go to midnight mass on for Christmas Eve. That was the best place to meet women.
Yeah,
Just
it was
saying.
great, very festive.
Peace
So
be with you.
yeah, I don't know, but hopefully he is losing the Catholics. I love the
He
new
is.
Pope.
He's definitely losing the Catholics. Listen, Biden was a good Catholic. I mean, and they treated
Where did
him
that get him?
like dirt. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, you have a happy ending because we're over the hour.
I know. Well, I would say this experiment worked out pretty well. So I'm pretty happy, and that's my ending. So
okay, I like
worked out okay.
My happy ending is Uncle Bill's happy. So
yeah,
great job, Uncle Bill.
If you can guess what the experiment was,
put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. Yeah,
please.
It's probably not hard to tell.
Well, I'm glad you had a good day today. Let's try and have a good evening to boot. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, I'm in.
All right, bye.
I'll talk to you in bed. Nice job. All right, see ya.